everyone. I'm so excited that you guys are listening tonight, and I have a special guest with us. Her name is Miss Ebony Kirton. How are you tonight?
I am blessed. I am blessed. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm super excited. We're going to just dive right in. Ebony, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I am the founder of Women Purpose United. I am an author, I'm a speaker, I am a mom, and most recently, I'm the creator of the Unmasked Mental Wealth Movement.
Make sure that we cover all bases tonight. I just want you to give a little snippet about yourself. So you just talked about unmasked and unbroken. So we are going to invite you to write your book. Could you give us the title again and tell us what inspired you to write this?
Yeah, so the title is Unmasked and Unbroken from Broken Pieces, Purpose is Reborn. Um, that book was inspired from just my life testimony. It is truly a memoir of my own struggles as being a woman, from being a little girl up until now, life has been lifing. And so it covers my stories from um, sexual assault as a child up through the loss of my first two boys, up through my three times repeat offender of divorce, the infidelity tied to divorce, and ultimately what just broke my heart that really created this whole unmasked transformation experience is the assault of my daughter
Wow.
and being a overcomer and having to learn to heal and transform from that really just showed me how much women need healing and how we may realize the things that we endured younger in our years definitely impact us and forms how we move today as adults.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I know one of the things that a lot of women are looking for is authenticity. Like they'll read things, they'll see things on YouTube, but it's something about experiencing that yourself. Tell me a little bit about what is your movement about? I know you talked about a lot of losses, but how does that impact women who may be interested in what you're doing?
I would say probably it's my core. At the core of me, I am a woman passionate about helping other women heal, rediscovering themselves, helping women to learn how to walk confidently in the God given purpose. And so it comes from wanting women to find a safe space, be a part of a community that sees them without judgment, where they can show up through transparency and realize that that purpose is on the other side of that transparency and that healing. And come into an environment where you are not judged, you are not shamed. You're invited, you're welcomed, you've been extended grace, you're loved on, and it's iron sharpened iron. Other women who are looking to see you win.
That is so powerful, and that led me right into when you talked about the safe environment because I'm a preacher's kid. I know a lot of people grew up in church. They, as they became adults, they ended up in bad relationships, divorces, losing children. So how do you address that woman who's closed off and says those resources may be there, but I just don't trust not only men, I don't trust women anymore. How do you impact those women who have said, I don't want to deal with being hurt by anybody else, so I don't want to come together with a community of women?
It's funny because that's majority of the women that I come in contact with.
Oh, okay.
Um, Women ministry has been my ministry for over 10 years. And so immediately women see I show up authentically. I don't show up as a person who knows it all. I show up and not broken, but have someone has overcome what that looks like. And so I'm able to speak the language that they know. I'm immediately able to resonate with the pain, resonate with the place of isolation. A lot of these women come to church and they are suffering silently. Yet we wear these beautiful done up masks like we have it all together. We are coined as the women that are the strong women, where no one needs to check up on us because we are always going to be okay. and we continuously show up for everybody. And so I'm immediately able to resonate with that level of exhaustion, with that level of depletion, and being able to speak into those spaces in our hearts and our minds. And when I have those one-on-ones, the women are eager to, are there more women like you?
That's good.
And
So,
that invites them into that sisterhood.
okay. So, with you saying that, so with people outside of our skin tone, is this targeted for all skin tones, or because I know we mentioned sisterhood quite a bit? So, kind of elaborate on that a little bit more.
My heart's passion is women of color.
Mm.
I identify with women of color, and it's, you can be chocolate, you can be brown, you can be a red bone, but women of color. And so we have Hispanic women that's on the board. We have a pretty significant Indian-based population, which surprisingly have been supported by the men's side of that culture, in seeing that even their women, their daughters, their wives have been kind of harboring some things as well, and they're wanting to see their women healed and whole.
That's amazing because a lot of people don't even feel comfortable going outside, so that's a safe space all in itself. So that leads me right into when you talk about the mask that we wear. I don't want to ask, is it a mask? But when you go out, I know you talked to me off camera a little bit about going out, like in street ministry. How do
Hmm.
you approach women? Like we talked about the ones who are broken, but the ones on the street where you know nothing about their background. But do you feel like you have a spirit of discernment to go up to anybody, or do you just go to all women of color? How does that work?
It's a combination of both. It is really a combination of both. I definitely operate in the spirit of discernment. Before we go out, we are in prayer. We're being led, because the same way everyone's not called to be a child of God, I'm not called to be able to serve every woman. And so it's very intentional. And the conversation, 9 times out of 10, it's a compliment.
Mm.
Too often, women of color are in this weird competition of, I can't give another woman a compliment because I can't show her that she has it going on and I might not, versus why we both can't have it going on.
All right.
And so it's usually opens the door with a very genuine smile, and everybody's my sister because you're a sister in the kingdom of God. And
Mm.
so everybody's, hey sis. And it's kind of hard to have boundaries up when someone approaches you with the smile, with the compliment, and is greeting you very interpersonal. And I'm a hugger. I mean, you said you're a PK. I grew up in the church, and so I am a hugger. I will hug somebody on the street in a heartbeat. And that hug, you'd be surprised how many women don't clinch up to the hug. They were needing that
Yeah.
and just didn't know it. And to be able to have that touch, be able to have that alignment, that spiritual alignment, the Holy Spirit breaks down walls without me even having to move forward yet.
Wow. And that's just so powerful. I just thought about, I know, I think you said something about the hug is like a hug from a grandmother.
Yeah. When you
And
think about Big Mama's hug,
yeah.
and you can feel the weight of all that she has carried, you can feel the width of her back, and that deep rooted embrace, like, baby girl, whatever you're going through, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And when you get that kind of hug, I mean, the burden that is lifted just from that hug, women, tears start flowing just because I didn't think anybody even cared enough to notice me.
Mm. That is so true. As that is so true. I even think about the scientific. God is first, but the scientific sense behind a hug. Like you can have the toughest person, but if you hold them over 10, 20 seconds, like they literally will break down in
Yeah.
tears and like release. And it's just amazing that you incorporate that. So that leads me back into the unmasked, unbroken book. Give me something out of that book, because we are going to make sure we tell people that they need to go and get this book, because just listening to you and your passion, it sounds like it would feed them. Like it would be something that they could eat on and get strengthened. So give me something out of your book that really either it brought you back to a place, or it helped to inspire you never to go back to a certain mindset.
I would say first and foremost, the book is very introspective. And so it is a book for any and every woman, because you will see yourselves in the various stories of women in that book. There's someone you can identify with. And so the first and foremost is just you taking the time to focus on you, to check in with you, to focus on your healing journey. And it takes you through those applications of doing that. And then it gives you the life application is now that we've reflected, now that we've taken a pause and we revisit some things, now we need to make sure that we're putting God in the forefront of leading that charge of the healing, because that's where transformation begins. One area that I would say that brought me full circle was really sharing the various testimonies of the women I've been blessed to be a part of their transformation journey. That was grace. A lot of us, even within the church, may pray for someone, may be steadfast, standing in the gap for someone, but we don't always get to hear the testimony. You know, we can plant a seed and God says he creates the increase. We may not always be privy to the increase. So the stories that I was able to hear and say, Ebony, I came to one of your events. I was hesitant. I didn't want to show up, but something made me press my way. And there was something that you said that planted the seed that began to create the need and desire to be whole. And from that, I have done the work. From that work, I'm walking in my purpose. And now I am doing X, Y, and Z that God has called me to. That has been just beautiful.
Wow, I mean, it sounds beautiful and powerful all at the same time. So just on that, you said some of them go on. Do some of them become, I know we briefly talked about partnerships. So how do women that want to get involved with what you're doing, how do they become partners or get involved, volunteer? How does that work?
There's so many different opportunities through our website with Women Purpose United. If you say, you know what, I am in a place where God has done some work. He has blessed me tremendously, and I want to pass that blessing down. You may align with us as a community partner, and it's a sponsorship. It's I want to continue to further the mission of what you're doing, and that's either a sponsorship or a donation. If you say, you know what, God has me thriving in my calling, I have an organization that aligns with your mission, that's servicing our community, that is looking for the betterment of women, they would become one of our business memberships. And that business membership is you're still getting all the perks of being with the sisterhood. You get to come to our events, you're getting the tools and resources, but it allows what you do to reach our organization, our sisterhood. So the other members would be able to partake in the services you provide. So you're feeding yourself as well as feeding your community. That's probably one of my favorite places to be, because it's that win-win. You know, those in corporate America know about the win-win model. And so it allows us to be able to definitely continue to build another person's organization, another sister's organization. But it allows us to be able to give that white glove handoff. You know, we're very intentional about who we partner with. And so the women in our organization, when we know that we're referring them to one of our sister partners, that they're going to be treated like the queens that they are.
Okay. So tell me about this Stronger Together, because it's pretty self-explanatory about what you said, but I know we put emphasis on we're stronger together. What does that mean for your community?
Oh, think about it, women. I'm a feminist a little bit. So I think women are amazing. God said he was done when he created us. So think a whole healthy woman, not only does she permeate her home, her spouse, her children grow out in school and they are a reflection of their home. The Proverbs 31 woman, the way she shows up at her job, the way she speaks, the way she moves, how she pours back in. Women, we are nurturers. So when we are whole and healthy and healed and walking in the fullness of what God has placed in us, everything we touch nourishes the land. And so we yield fruit, not just from our womb, but from our words, from our love, from our unity, from our support. And so that is the focus, is we continue to heal women because they're going to do so much more greater things. And the concept of iron sharpens iron. You know, a woman is going to continue to develop who she is, who God has called her to be, as she's around other women that are helping her to refine some of those tools.
Okay. So I have a question. I mean, I love it. I'm just loving everything about this interview. So this was a little bit, we didn't really talk about that, and I'm sure you probably covered it in the book. I know the soft girl era is kind of being thrown around a lot. So how do the women who have come out of an abusive relationship or a bad experience, and they're kind of in between, they have to be strong, because if you let your guards down, then I make myself vulnerable. But at the same time, saying I'm learning to embrace life and embrace women. And how do they transform from this I'm independent from just everybody, because I'm not gonna let my guards down, to this soft girl era, as it's kind of
femininity. The strong woman has known to be more masculine than feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a part of that is your testimony. When women realize that, you know what, you were never called to survive, you were called to thrive, and you have you have a 100% success rate overcoming your obstacles, which is why you're here today. You have 100% survival rate of everything you've been through. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's, how will your testimony help another woman survive? And when women realize the power of their words, and I call them gems, when you realize that you have value, you have gems to pour into other women, it softens them, because it's hard for you to be transparent and authentic when you have to wear a coat of armor. And so it's teaching women to have, I mean, when you create that safe space for women to share, and they hear other women sharing, they are attracted to that outpour. And that softens them. You can't be around a bunch of empowering women that's inspiring, that's encouraging you. Great example, we had a young lady who we rescued out of an abusive household. Literally, one of my teammates went to the home while the boyfriend was at work, fully loaded her car, and we got her out of that environment. And from there, all the women in the community text her, we're following up with her, we're checking in with her, we're praying with her, we're bringing her to our events, we're sharing scriptures with her, affirmations, giving her, hey, I need you to work on this today while you're on this healing journey. And so we don't do it alone. It truly is, I am my sister's keeper mindset.
Wow. That is powerful. And that was one of the questions that a lot of the women asked me. Is it going to be something I show up at an event and then people fall off? But just hearing that from start to finish, follow up, that's amazing. And again, could you repeat your website?
It's going to be www.womenofpurposeunited.com.
Okay, and it's going to be on the bottom of the screen, guys. If you see that, make sure you get in touch, because it looks like. And where are you located?
I'm in Texas, and we are all over Texas. I'm gonna tell you, we are branching out, and so we also have my sister in California, where this is all started from, and so we definitely have things going on in California. But we're looking to create a movement across the U.S. of touching God's daughters.
Wow, that's powerful. That is so powerful. And I just want to go to one last part of the book. Are you working on anything outside of what you have now that's published?
Oh, absolutely. This is a movement. This
Okay.
this truly is a movement. And so I have three books. They build on top of each other. So it's very intentional in how that goes. So the first one is Crown and Transformation. That is out now. It is the seven sacred stages of going from, healing to purpose. And it mirrors that of a butterfly. Many women have gone through the butterfly effect transformation. I go quite a bit deeper in that transformation. And then it goes to the unmasked, unbroken, as we touched on. And then a workbook that kind of bridges all of that together is the Unmask, Reveal, Revive, Restore. That is powerful in itself. It takes you from trauma to how do you rise as a queen. And I'm in the process of finishing up our Unmasked Mental Wellness program. So
Oh,
that's a
wow.
6 month program. Women will be able to come in person. We have sister circles in there where women are speaking into each other. I'm doing kind of a pilot group with a group of ladies right now. And so I'm so excited to be able to share that to come with more ladies.
Okay, awesome. And you said that'll be in 6 months?
So it's going to be a 6 month program that will be
Okay,
coming this summer.
this summer. Awesome. This whole interview has been just so delightful and inspiring. I just, I applaud you first and foremost because there are not a lot of women who are actually doing this type thing. They get out and then it's not, I'm going back for my sister. It's I'm out and I'm not turning back. So just to hear that you're doing something like this is really, really amazing. If there was one thing that you could say to inspire a woman who may be on the fence, they could be watching this video right now, what would you say God is leading you to say to those women?
This, you are more than the circumstances life has put into you or put you through. I want you to know that you are worthy of everything that God has called you to. I want you to know that you are necessary in this lifetime and in generations to come, that we see you, that we hear you, and that we love you. And no matter what, you're going to strive in excellence. We want to just be here with you for it.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. So, we're going to have all the information for anybody who wants to get more information about the books, and everything is going to be on your website. Is that the best way to contact you?
I would say the best way right now is going to be the email. And so that's going to be info at ebonykirtonunmasked.com. So I'll provide that to you. And then we have Women of Purpose United.
Okay, okay. Well, you have totally blessed the audience. You've blessed me tonight, and I just look forward to partnering myself and finding out like how we can make this thing go nationwide.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to you. Thank you for this evening. You have been phenomenal. I'm so just blessed by you seeing the mission, you seeing the vision, and your support. So just thank you tremendously.
Thank you.